been years.
You have a very special request. The Rock and Roll Express would be featured here on 5-Star Wrestling. And at this time, Mark Nolte has a look back from ringside at that particular match. Here's a look at Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson in action.
Introducing first, Calvin Harris and Bob Holly.
And the Rock and Roll Express are introduced. 4-time tag team champions of the world. They've held regional titles all over the country. And you want to talk about a pair that can electrify a crowd as Ricky Morton locks up with Bob Holly. Morton up and over Holly, reverses the Beal. This is a tag team that has dominated the 80s. They are the only tag team in all of professional wrestling to hold the World Tag Team Championship 4 times. They've beaten some of the greatest teams in all of professional wrestling, including the Koloffs, Ivan and Nikita, Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson, and Bob Holly got caught looking the other way. And with the speed of Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, that's a mistake you just cannot afford to make. Here's the tag. Here comes Robert Gibson with the knee lift off the tag. Tag team specialists, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. And one of the things that they do better than almost any other team in the world is the teamwork and the timing. Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson electrifying this crowd. Robert Gibson cinching in with the side headlock. Ricky Morton already leading the cheers. And Bob Holly and Calvin Harris not having much of a chance getting the offense rolling so far. Gibson into the ropes. Takes Holly down with a body check. Back over Holly. Leapfrog by Holly. And Robert Gibson comes across with a flying body. Gets a count of 2 by the referee, Jack Howell. And Bob Holly's going to regroup. Robert Gibson and Ricky Morton talking over strategy. The 2 men lock up collar and elbow. And now it's Holly that comes around and grabs the side headlock. There's the tag. Here comes Ricky Morton. And Morton with a flying drop kick. As Bob Holly went over Robert Gibson. And now Ricky Morton takes Holly into the ropes, clothesline. Robert Gibson will now finally exit the ring. Notice the way Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson are cutting off the ring at all time. Tagging down, keeping a fresh man in the ring. Body slam by Ricky Morton. Drops the knee into the forehead of Bob Holly. And it's, even though now Bob Holly, cheap shot, goes into the eyes, punches Ricky Morton across the jaw. A second shot by Bob Holly. Snap mirrors Morton. Holly measuring him and drops the leg across Morton's chest and gets a count of 2. And now it's going to be Bob Holly that's going to come in from behind, sitting down on the wrist lock, or rather the chin lock. The crowd coming to their feet, trying to implore Ricky Morton on. And it's almost like a third man in the ring for the Rock and Roll Express. And now both men go down. Double body check. Holly the first one to come to his feet. Crotch hold lift and a body slam by Bob Holly. Young Bob Holly taking the battle right now to Ricky Morton. Holly mounting the ropes. Going to try to finish Ricky Morton off. And he connects with a forearm across the chest. The cover, 1. And Ricky Morton kicks out. There's the tag. Here comes Calvin Harris. Bob Holly has Ricky Morton going. Calvin Harris comes in the ring. And Ricky Morton catches Calvin Harris with a kick to the jaw across as he comes off the ropes. There's the tag. Here comes Robert Gibson. Gibson dives across the ropes, driving a foot boot into the thigh of Calvin Harris. Now Robert Gibson's going to slow the pace of the match down a little bit. as he'll lock up and is going to go in with a step-over toe hold. Now he'll tag Ricky Morton back in. Even though Morton and Gibson were at the disadvantage for the moment, they never panicked, never lost their composure. And joining me right now at Mike's side is another man that knows a little bit about tag team wrestling. One half of the Fantastics, Bobby Fulton. Bob, the Heritage Championship Wrestling.
Well, thank you. I'm not sure you know. I'll tell you, Mark, a lot of things will be happening with Heritage Championship Wrestling. You see a great team in the ring right now. Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, the Rock and Roll Express. You know, Ricky Morton and I are good friends along with Robert. We partied a lot together. These guys are one of the top tag teams in professional wrestling, and why I say one of the top teams is I feel the Fantastics are equally as great, if not greater. And, you know, a lot of people have always asked me throughout my career if a showdown would take place between the Rock and Roll Express and the Fantastics, what exactly would happen? Well, I feel it would be one of the greatest matches of all times. And I'd like to feel that the Fantastics could come out the winners in the match. I feel it would be a great match.
Well, Bobby, you're looking at a team that's got a very similar style to you and your partner.
Exactly. You know, I'll tell you, Jackie's going to be out here a little bit later on. I'm going to get a chance to bring him out and introduce him to the fans of Heritage Championship Wrestling.
Well, that's something we haven't touched on yet. There is a new member of the Fantastics.
Exactly.
Your brother, Jackie Fulton.
Well, Tommy and I, you know, we have wrestled together for the past 5 years. We're still doing so in the Orient, in Israel, overseas. Jackie, a younger brother of mine, he's now part of the Fantastics as a three-man team, and I'm looking forward to a lot of exciting things happening in the career of the Fantastics.
Well, Bobby, we're really taking over on Calvin Harris in the ring now. What would it be like wrestling a team that as fast as you are?
Well, I'll tell you, you know, it's not really ever happened. It's always seemed that we've been outsized in professional wrestling. We've been in there with teams. This is one match that we've never really been in a match that where both teams have the speed on their side, they have the agility, along with the ability. So, you know, I'll tell you, Mark, this Rock and Roll Express, Robert Gibson and them, I'll tell you, they have really been one of my favorite tag teams to watch throughout my years of professional wrestling.
Well, there's a lot of people like you. A lot of people right there say that your styles remind each other of one another. And also, you have to remember, these two teams have never met.
Exactly. You know, I'll tell you right now, Mark, here they're setting up Calvin, and there they go. They go to nail their opponent. He jumped off the apron. There he got Bob Holly. They just nailed Bob Holly. It looks like they're setting up.
With a double drop
kick. This is it. Wow.
Handed double drop kick. Beautiful move. The cover by Robert Gibson.
Three. There it is, right there. This is what the Rock and Roll Express have on their side. Tag team wrestling at its finest. But you know, the Fantastics, I feel we're equally as great as the Rock and Roll Express.
Well, that's an argument that you certainly could make. You face a lot of teams, and right now we're fixing to take a look at the patented double drop kick by Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. Calvin Harris gets set, never sees it coming. Both drop kicks get planted right at the same time, and to the best of my knowledge, no one has ever kicked out of the double drop kick of the Rock and Roll Express, and certainly Calvin Harris doesn't here.